My name is Father James Kelleher, and I'm a priest in the Society of Our Lady of the Most Holy Trinity, and I'm the founder and director of Eucharistic Family Rosary Crusade. I do Rosary Crusades all over the United States, Ireland, England, and Central America. Today, I'd like to talk with you about the life of St. Dominic. And we want to look at his life from this perspective, how his mother had an openness to his life, and how God called him first to become a priest and then to become a founder of a new religious order called the Dominicans. So let's start with St. Dominic when he was in the womb of his mother. His mother decided to make a pilgrimage to a famous shrine. And while praying there, she had a dream in which a dog leapt forth from her womb, and it was carrying a torch, and it seemed like he was setting the world on fire. This seemed to be a prophetic dream of Dominic's future founding of the Dominican order, because that order became known as the Dominicans. And if you look at the name Dominicans in Latin, it's Dominicanus, which means dogs of the Lord. So we see that God was even at work when St. Dominic was in the womb of his mother. Dominic grew up in a wealthy family in Spain, and he studied very hard. And when he was 21, there was actually a great famine in Spain. And so Dominic took a little break from his studies, and he actually sold some of his clothes, some of his furniture, and some of his precious manuscripts so he could help feed the poor people, because he understood at this moment in time that it was more important to feed the poor than to do his full-time studies. Then at the age of 25, he entered the order of the Canons Regular, which used the rule of St. Augustine, and he was ordained a priest. And God called him to be a missionary to southern France, where there were these horrible heretics called the Albigensians. What were these Albigensians all about? They believed that the only reality was a spiritual reality, and that the body was evil, and that somehow the body imprisoned the soul and held it locked up. And so they believed the soul had to be set free of the body. And so they were very anti-incarnation. They didn't believe in the incarnation of the Lord, that the Son of God took on a human body in the womb of the mother. They didn't really believe that. They didn't really believe that Jesus saved us through his redemptive sacrifice on the cross, where he suffered in his human nature, and that his divine nature gave infinite value to that. And so these heretics, these Albigensians, they had a very depressive spirituality and basically had a spirituality of fear. St. Dominic went to southern France and began to preach to these people. But they were very stubborn, and he only made a few converts. So what did St. Dominic do? He prayed. He was 38 years old, and he went and spent 3 days in intense prayer and doing penance. And on the third day, the Virgin Mary appeared to him and said, "Dominic, so far you've mainly been relying on yourself to convert these people. What you must do is begin to preach the mysteries of the Rosary." And so she showed Dominic how to create 15 mysteries of the Rosary, in which each mystery would be one Our Father, 10 Hail Marys, and a Glory Be. And that each mystery would center on the life of Jesus in the Gospels. Dominic obeyed the Virgin, and he began to preach the mysteries of the Rosaries to the Albigensians. And one by one, they began to convert, so that after a number of months, hundreds had converted back to the faith. What happened then? Well, at the age of 45, St. Dominic founded the Dominican order. And this Dominican order was founded out of a desire to serve the spiritual needs of people in the growing cities of Europe. And he realized that you needed an order that was a little more flexible than the monastic orders. And so his order, they were men of prayer and penance, and they took the fruit of their prayer and went throughout the countryside preaching, and they were authorized by the bishop and the pope to do so. And they preached with great fervor and great success, because they preached the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ, which is, they preached the mysteries of the Rosary. St. Dominic then went to Rome, Italy, And there the Pope gave him a church called Santa Sabina, and he founded a studium, which was a place of study to form his young Dominicans. That studium in the 1600s became the College of St. Thomas Aquinas, and then in the 20th century it became the University of St. Thomas Aquinas, and today it's called the Angelicum. I have a doctorate in theology from the Angelicum, so I feel very indebted to St. Dominic and to St. Thomas Aquinas, who, of course, was a Dominican, because there I learned how to go deeper into prayer and deeper into the mysteries of Christ's life, especially through the Rosary. There I did a doctorate on Pope John Paul II called Pope John Paul II's Theology of the Virgin Mary's Maternal Mediation. So this is just one way that in doing this short video today, I can say thank you to St. Dominic, thank you to St. Thomas Aquinas, and thank you to St. John Paul the Great. So pray the Rosary daily, pray the Rosary every day, and let the mysteries of Christ's life come alive in your life and in your family. Ave Maria.